Ken Rosenthal tweeted or wrote a story for The Athletic saying the pressure on buyers is mounting. But we got our new guy in charge in Scott Harris, and all reports say he set a high price for people who want to deal with the Tigers. I mean, they can't go through today without trading, right? So he's got to, at some point, blink. And so who blinks first? Do the buyers concede to his asking price? Or does Scott Harris say, okay, because they've had preliminary talks. You know that he has talked to teams, and the buyers being teams like Baltimore, the Reds, Atlanta, maybe Miami, Houston, the Dodgers, whomever. I mean, not everybody's going to be interested in who you have to offer, but somebody is. And they've had preliminary talks and the outlines of deals. And Scott Harris says, I want A and B. And a team says, well, we'll give you B. And then you go, okay, maybe we'll circle back. But you kind of have an outline of what a team is willing to give up for your guys. And you know what you asked for your guys. And so does Scott Harris take this right down to 6 o'clock and eventually pick up the phone and call somebody and say, okay? Or does it go right down to 6 o'clock and that somebody says, okay, I'll do it for what you want? I mean, this is the game of chicken today. And I can tell just looking at you, you're getting nervous. You don't want to get rooked. You don't want to get rooked. I don't want to get rooked. And Tiger fans don't want to get rooked.
No, I think the advantage with the Tigers is that they have two starting pitchers that teams want. Okay, that's the advantage. So the Tigers can try to negotiate a deal, and then they can say, look, we've got two guys. Here's option one. Here's option two. Option one costs you, a top 100 prospect and costs you, somebody another player in your top 25 of your own prospect rankings. Option two costs you two 100 level prospects, or whatever it is. They've got, and then they have, if you'd like a sweetener, and then they go over to, would you care to look at our bullpen as well? And here's Cisnero, and here's Lang, and here's Foley, and
are you suggesting you think the Tigers can get a top 100 prospect today? Because I don't.
I think they can.
I don't think they can. I think they'd have to package, not for a single player. They'd have to package, I think, quite a bit together.
Would you like to know why? I think.
Yeah, I'd love to, because I did a lot of comps today. And I couldn't come up with a scenario, but let's go for it.
Because today is a day of desperation. Today is a day, it's the last chance that teams have that are contending teams that have a chance to improve their roster, and someone's going to get desperate and they're going to blink. And they're going to have to, because teams maybe you didn't expect are starting to compete, are competing. And a team like Baltimore, who stands, atop the East, they're looking at moves that are being made and like, wait a minute, okay, let's look at the landscape here in the American League. If Verlander goes to Houston, then Baltimore it's going to have to up what Baltimore does here. And if Baltimore wants to get somebody, well, coming to the Tigers, and the Tigers are asking for, their number 7 prospect who's awfully good.
Okay, so I sat down today and did a whole lot of background on all the trades that have been made and try and figure out what is a reasonable return for what the Tigers have to offer. I don't think it falls in the top 100 category unless they package a bunch of stuff together. And I mean, if they get somebody that is desperate, as you say, fan-effing-tastic, but I'm not expecting it. And I mean, will you be disappointed if they don't get a top 100 guy? Will you be disappointed, Scott Harris? Because I think that's setting the bar very high.
No, I'm not going to be disappointed, because I know what the Tigers have. What they have is an expiring contract with Michael Lorenzen, who's pitching the best he's ever pitched as a starting pitcher. And they have a potentially expiring contract in Eduardo Rodriguez, and it's also a pitcher that's been oft injured, who's thrown 80-something innings this year, albeit very good innings. But you have to be wary of what you're giving. But looking at a team like Baltimore, for instance, okay, we talk a lot about Baltimore, and there's a reason. I think they have 8 guys in the top 100 list. They do. And their 8th guy is a catcher. He ranks at 92. Tigers could use a catcher, although this guy's at single A, so he's only 18. And the Tigers have their own catcher who's 18 in at the rookie leagues right now who they think very highly of, who's actually played pretty well this year. But if you go with their 7th prospect, number 7 for them is a guy named Kobe Mayo. Kobe's a third baseman. He's 21 years old, but he's already at AAA. And this year he's hitting between the two stops, he's hitting 295. He's only hitting 231 at AAA, but hit 307 at AA and has power. He's a big guy, 6'5". He gets on base. There's a reason to like what he's got. On-base percentage is a big thing for Scott Harris. This seems to fit. It's a guy who is in the top 100, isn't playing great at AAA since his promotion, but is that a guy that Baltimore can look at and say, okay, look, we got to give up something to get something. We still kept our top 6 prospects, given 2 of them are already at the major league level. So if you look at it that way, then you can say we still kept our top 4 prospects. And we just improved our team for taking a run at a legitimate shot, because they're a really good team. Baltimore's a really good team. A legitimate shot at the World Series.
I would love it. I don't expect it.
I'm just saying I think that they can get it done. I think they can. It's a game of chicken. You got to play. You got till 6 o'clock tonight. And, the Tigers have cards too. Like, they can go to Baltimore and say, look, take your pick one of these guys, but and we want, let's say we want Kobe Mayo, or we want your 6th-rated prospect, whatever. But they can also say, I think you should make a move quickly because we have interest from other teams, as you know, and we have other pitchers to give up. So, you're kind of on the clock here. You got to do something. They can put the pressure on Baltimore to go ahead and make the move.
Well, I hope you're right. I don't know that you are, but I hope that you're right, and it would be great if they could get anybody's top 100 prospect for what they have to offer.